Stella and this is Tarrant from Meeple University. Welcome or welcome back to our top games. This one is for May 2023. So as usual, these games are new to us, not necessarily very brand new games, and they could be coming for review copy. They could be games that's been commissioned for us to do, or prototype games, new games, any type of games that we played in the month of May, and we love these games.
Yes, this is a range of games. They might be interesting, they might just be great. We've got reasons for presenting them all, so
which we will share.
Fifth one for the year.
So how are you doing, by the way? How's your May? Let us know. Share us your top games in May. What have you been doing? You might not be playing games, you might be on holiday like us. We're just back from holiday as well. It's amazing. We've been to Cairns, Queensland, so it's just interstate travel from Australia. We're in Australia if you don't know yet. Yeah. And that's amazing. This is called Melbourne, and Cairns, Queensland makes me want to move there. Can we move there? Please? One day? Maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see. It's amazing. Beach vibe. There's mountain.
And there's warmth.
And warmth.
Warmth in winter.
That's the most.
We weren't there during the wet season.
Yeah,
lucky. Maybe we'd think differently.
Probably, like every day's wet. But then, anyways, yeah, let us know. That was what I was talking about. Let us know what you have been doing, what games you have been playing, any games you want to recommend to us. Without further ado, let's start with Tarrant's number 5.
So my number 5 game for May is Disrupt, and this is a game which is, if not now on Kickstarter, very soon going to Kickstarter. And this is an asymmetrical Euro-economic game. So it's got some interesting elements where you're trying to do really an area influence cube majority type of thing collectively. But it's a shareholding game, and what it does with shareholding is, I think, the thing which makes it special. You have shares in companies, you will buy them, you will sell them, or more correctly, you'll put them up for sale. And the game kind of forces you to do that by making that the way you get 2 of the resources. So there's one resource that when you put your shares up for sale, you get that resource in, and it's really the only way to get it. There's a couple others, but that's the main way to get it. And then there's another one which you will gain as you purchase shares. So there's this direct incentive to make the share market happen. There's also event cards which will make the public buy shares. And in that case, you're trying to be very tactical on where the shares are going to go, because the public will buy based on price and based on the popularity of that particular company, which you can take actions to manipulate.
And this game is, by the way, just finished Kickstarter, so this is a prototype, which is already looking very cute.
Yeah, so there's a lot going on. There's a lot to take in this game, but that different twist on the share market, the fact that they've Euroized the share market and not made it just a robber baron 18xx type of thing, which I tend to struggle with, I think is really clever. So that's why Disrupt is in my top 5 for May.
Is Euroized even a word? Euroized?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
I made it. A word is a string of letters
that Tarrant just made.
That can be pronounced.
So if ever somebody say Euroized, that would be your word.
Yes.
Disrupt. Anyways, if we have any other videos for a particular game, we will link it down below so you can check it out even further. Let's get to my number 5 now, which is Roll to the Top. Ta-da! So this is Roll to the Top Journeys. I believe there was a previous version of Roll to the Top, but this is the newer version. It's got more maps, and I think you mix in expansion in this box. Anyways, Roll to the Top. It is a roll and write with so many different maps. And what I love about this one, what's different about this one, is that obviously you roll some dice here, and you roll the dice, and look at this dice. There's like different D4, and you also roll this minus plus and so on. So this is it. This is one that makes it different. So when you roll it, it'll usually give you plus or minus. So out of this bunch of dice, you can remove a dice, you can add a dice from the supply if there is any, and then you try to complete your map And each map has got slightly different rules. This one, for example, you have to put it from the bottom to top. You have to fill up the bottom first before the top, and you can only fill it from lower number to higher number. So there's like, you have to make sure that you can fill it up quickly. You can fill it up quickly by skipping numbers, but then they'll stop you from filling up the rest fast, because then you need the higher number. You can use 2 combinations of number, adding them together, or adding like 3 dice together to make up a number, but then that means that it's inefficient.
Yes.
It's a very good game. And I know you like that as well, Tarrant.
I do, yes. I will...
You'll
I'll hold back my comments because this will come up for me a little bit later.
There you go. And yeah, you can be sitting there somewhere, and then you be like, okay, I want to plus or minus the dice, because you look around and other people's needing the higher number, while you still like hanging around with the low number, so you just keep the lower dice, hoping that you get the number that you want, not the other people's. Anyways, roll to the top.
My number 4 is a game that has been out for a little while, and it's one of a series that's been out for a little while, and this is Ravensburger's adventure book game series.
Number
and this
3.
is the Lord of the Rings one.
The previous one was Princess Bride.
Yep, and Wizard of Oz,
yes.
I believe. And I believe they're all relatively similar, but this falls into, I guess, what I would consider the zombie teens category of very quick co-op games and very low action co-op games. So really, you've got a book which tells the story of Lord of the Rings, and each page represents a little spatial puzzle, and you've got to move your workers around. It's not very hard to work out what to do. There's a little bit of intrigue with cards that will come out each round and make something random happen. So sometimes you've got to take a punt on what may or may not happen. But what's interesting is that each of the individual pages is not terribly difficult or long, but you've got a track which you've got a couple things which will carry from level to level. And really, you've got to finish 8 scenarios without corruption being maxed out. And as you go through, you'll draw new powerful cards into your deck, which will then let you do some more special things. And so the game kind of escalates, and it does so in a way that is quick to play, quick to pick up. And I like that. And that was what I liked about Zombie Teens as well when we first played that. It was the first time I'd played a 2 actions per turn co-op game. And I really liked how quickly it went along, because Pandemic can be a real brain burner. And it's on that Pandemic light side of things. But it does it really well. So I enjoy this series.
Let me share you though that number 1, Tarrant doesn't usually play a co-op adventure game like this. And number 2, Tarrant is not really into Lords of the Rings. So you can see this game being in Tarrant's top 5 games of this month means actually a lot more than that, I reckon. And here comes my number 4, Books of Time. This game is retail released by Boards and Dice. I believe they released it in UKGE. And this is a very, very puzzly, thinky deck builder, I think. So the components are amazing. The books are, you kind of like clip in the book. Not clip, you got a clip and then you put it in the book. You've got 3 books and then
It's like your old school binder.
Yes, like a binder. So you can collect those cards, making up the books. They're basically for points, for set collections, and activating the icons. So mainly is activating the icons, but this sequence that you do whenever you do it, so once you activate an icon, you flip the page in the book, and you can close the book, you can gain all the bonuses again. But this is super tinky to actually sequence your actions correctly by putting it at the right time and right place.
Yeah,
hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a twist on. We say deck build. Deck build is probably the closest thing to it, but certainly not in the traditional way. It's more like, I guess, City of Iron is the only one I can think of where the order never really changes. You've got to make sure you're getting the cards in the right sequence so that you can activate them as it's most appropriate.
Absolutely. So Books of Time, really check it out. I think boards and dice have been doing great games these days, either the retail one or the Kickstarter one. And this is totally, again, this is totally my opinion. You can take however you want it. I have commissioned video for this one, by the way, so I'll link it below as well for you to check out. And that is Books of Time.
And back we are again with Roll to the Top, which is my number 3. And a lot of what I like about it you've all already said, but I think what is the first thing that stands out is that it's a race. It's a roll and write race, which if there's any others out there, I can't think of them. It's basically a race to the top. You want to fill in all your boxes before everyone else. And it does that in a really clever way. It's basically a slow burn of a push your luck, really. Why it works well, you're rolling the dice. So pick up the dice. So the dice range from D4 to D20. It's your standard set of dice. Dice will be added or subtracted every time. Early in the game, because you have to go from low numbers to high numbers, early in the game you want the small dice in play. Later in the game you want the large dice in play. But that was if you're just playing it by yourself. If you're playing it against someone else, you want to watch what are they doing. Have they gone ahead sooner? Because once you're wanting higher numbers than other players, you want the higher dice. Because the most efficient way to do it is to just have the number you want roll up on the dice. If you start adding the dice together, it's going to reduce the pace at which you can fill in the boxes. And so as players diverge in their strategies and start putting in the dice that they do or don't want, maybe they're falling behind and they just have to start putting high numbers in to try to catch up. I think that's really clever, and it's also really simple, and that's what I like that in roll and write games. The ones that stand out to me tend to be the ones that do something a little different but very simple, and this really hits that. So it's a very good quality roll and write.
My number 3 is a prototype game, which we don't have a box. It's Bad Baby Lich Lords. So this game is coming to Kickstarter very soon, or crowdfunding. And this is mainly a 2-player area control battle, but it is doing it in a smart way that I haven't seen before, where you're activating certain icons and you collect the icons as well at the same time.
Yeah, it's one of those three battlefield types of games, like Sorcerer was one of those.
Yes.
So you're playing cards into either side of these 3 fields, and you can move them around, and you're trying to essentially win control of that field by having, in this case, getting a set of icons in there before your opponent gets them.
What I love about it is that how simple it is. Just icons. You're collecting this set of icons, and you can do it like each icon has got its own actions, and you can combo it in certain ways, in a smart ways, and it's very tight usually between the 2 people trying to fight for that card, because you need 5 points, 5 worth of land cards or whatever card it is.
Cards.
Thank you. To win the game. So the artwork of the cards, I found it very cute. Although I've already told the publisher here that I'm not a big fan of the art of the front box, but that's he's got a personal story with the arts in the box, which I totally respect. So Bad Baby Lich Lords. The name is, I reckon it's cute. I know that I think it's going to be good, but after playing it, I thought, wow, this is a great game. And number 2, and this time is for you and me.
Yes, number 2 for both of us is Expeditions by Stonemaier.
Da-da-da. So this is the Scythe 2.0 sequel. We do have a few videos for it, so check it out. And this is not like Scythe.
No, not at all. This is it's quite different.
There are some similarities, but it feels different.
Yeah, more than anything else, there's a lot of mechanisms going on in this game, but more than anything else, it's a deck builder. But it does it in a different way. A lot of the things that have come up in this particular top 5 have done something in a different and very clever way. Mm-hmm. And in this one, it's kind of like a Concordian deck pool building game. So you've got you've got a hand, and then when you play the cards, it's into your own discard pile, and you pick the whole lot back up every so often, and you're going to play on most of your turns. But it's also got a Valley of the Kings, Torrents of the Underdark, promotion thinning type of mechanism, where you have to get the card, in most cases, you've got to get the cards out of your circulation to get them into the scoring locations. And it ends up being really tight, because I've seen that thinning mechanism in a conventional deck builder, but not in a Concordia style deck builder. And so it ends up being this really tight optimization of building your hand with the cards you need or that combo well together, and then racing to get them out quickly, because you need to do that to build up the points.
Love it. It's just so many combinations, so many things you can do, and you got to time your actions right. You got to have to race to put the stars, and then you can increase the points of each stars. Victory points is coins, like in Scythe. I will definitely use Scythe metal coins for this one, because it looks the same. Like 1, 3, 5. Anyways, have you played Scythe? Are you excited about it for this one, Expeditions? We've played a few times, and it's great. I find that it's great. We play 2 players and 4 players. I find this still great in both player counts. So this game's actually play 1 to 5.
Yep.
While you probably like it more in higher player counts.
I like it at higher player counts. It's got it adds more interaction and fear that someone's going to take the cards you want. There's a whole big board grid movement element of the game as well, which I just glossed over entirely, because I think when we do a full review, I think I describe it as a 60% deck builder. It has this interesting grid mechanic as well, where you've got to find the actions that give you the promotions, and you've got to keep your mech in efficient spaces. There's a whole lot of little tricky things that make this really clever.
There's other things that I love, which is the fact that you need to try to combo your actions together, trying to get the cards that combo well together. I mean, each game would be different. You get this card that give you a lot of points in certain way. There are so many things that you can do to gain points. So, Expeditions, check it out.
All right, which brings us to my top game of May, and it's another one you've already mentioned. It's Bad Baby Lich Lords. I was very impressed with this game. We've often 2-player battle games are not generally my jam, and this one, it's a sorcerer style of game with those 3 area control types of things. Not usually my sort of thing, but this was a lighter version, and really had some fun things going on. Those games are so usually attack, defense.
Text read,
those are the sorts of things I don't like so much.
Accounting, usually, but none of those.
This is...
I mean, not much.
Yeah, this is, you're trying to match the icons. Each time you play something, you're picking from there are 3 cards you can pick from, so everyone's got the same choice. You've got to pick the ones that are tactical for you. You've got to play them when you play a card, the icon could mean you do something to your own side or the other. So there's all these different options for shifting cards around. And something that's also different is you only activate a card when you flip it over from its face down side to its face up side, and then it stays face up. And to activate it again,
the actions.
You either have to, there's a specific one which will let you activate it again, or you can have it flipped face down, which will mean it no longer counts to majorities, but it gives you the chance to flip it back up again. And all these different combinations make for really interesting 2-player play, with some pretty simple icons to play from. So I was very impressed with what this game brought to that
genre,
area attack genre of 2-player battle games. So I think I've done something really clever there.
Just really check the Kickstarter. I really want it to be successful, please.
Yes. I do hope that one gets through. That one is a good quality, different little game.
My number 1, I'm probably about 18 months too late. Arc Nova.
Yes, this is a new to us
Not
countdown.
new to me.
And this was new to you in May. It wasn't new to me. It was new to me, I think. I played it with someone else like last February.
Yeah.
So didn't qualify for my list, but obviously this has been a big game of the last year and a half, and finally you've joined the rest of
Finally, I
us.
played multiple times and I love it. People say it feels a little bit like Terraforming Mars, which is probably the game in our top 10 ever. By the way, we haven't actually done that list. Please let us know if you want us to do our top 10 games ever. I would think probably that would be in our list, Terraforming Mars. But anyways, Ark Nova feels a bit like Terraforming Mars. The type of cards like Terraforming Mars, you engine build, you do things on your board more actually rather than Terraforming Mars. It's amazing. It is just so, like expeditions, there's so many things that you can do, so many strategies you can do. One of those games that, I finished this. Oh, actually, I want to do this strategy next time, that strategy next time. How about this one? It's like so many things you can do. And the actions are very simple. Basically, just 5 actions. You just take the action. The longer you delay almost that action, the stronger the action will be. I think that just gives you a really, really nice twist. You like this one as well.
I do like the game. I've had a lot of fun with it. We have a separate review. You can hear all of my thoughts on it, but I'm glad that you've been able
to play and experience this.
And
yeah, and I am so excited to play the new expansion, the first expansion of Ark Nova. Are you excited? Are you ordering it? Hopefully I'll get it soon. Whee! That is it, Tarrant. That is all our top games of May 2023. Again, let us know what you've been doing. If you hit the like button and comments, let us know you're there. We really, really appreciate it. And if you want to subscribe, we also appreciate it even more. And hopefully you are doing something super, super fun today. And hopefully we'll see you next time. Bye!